down in pit lane. Let's catch up now with last year's champion, Michael van Rooyen.
It's a reverse grid. Starting in third place, I think a good start would be very helpful. I think a clean start would be even more. And yeah, hoping for the best. I think we made some good balance changes to the car, so should be more competitive in race 2. But yeah, obviously hoping for a win for the season.
Casey Ensel-Smith had an epic one. Let's see what his plans are for race 2.
Honestly, I am hoping to get up into the top 3. A win really would be nice, but I have to take it how it is and just see where we end up. Because it's feeling fine. There was a little bit of damage in race 1, but you've got the bumper back on and everything, so it should be all good now.
So there you can see Campos and Schofield, BMWs 1 and 2 on the front row. Michael van Rooyen and Casey Ensel-Smith making it Toyota and Golf, the Corolla and Golf GTI 8 on the second row. Jason Coetzee and Julian van der Walt similarly in Toyotas and Volkswagens of their own. And then Robert Volk in the third of the Golf GTI 8s will start from the back of the pack. Tyler Robinson will start on pole position ahead of Rory Atkinson. Jason Loosemore and Brad Liebenberg will be on the second row ahead of Nicky Vistanis and Nico Zafiris. Davide Franco and Rick Larrea ahead of Jared Rousseau and Paolo Larrea. And then it'll be Mohammed Wali if he was able to get that car of his sorted out. And I'm hoping that he has, having to start from the back of the pack. But watch out for Wali coming through if he has got that car sorted out. There were some gearbox issues. Hopefully they're all now being sorted out. As we go under starters orders. Lights out and down towards turn 1 go the touring cars. Great start from Robert Volk this time. He's going to try and stay out of trouble as they get down into turn 1. It's a late dive there from Jason Coetzee. Jason Coetzee has ducked through. Schofield gets the whole shot, heads into turn 2 and leads things out over Keegan Campos. So it's the Fly Sapphire car out ahead of Campos Transport's machine into turn 2. As they come out of turn 2 and into turn 3 now, we're watching for the start there of what's happened in the Super Cup class. Here they go. Short straight. Campos on the back end of Schofield. Looks like it's a good start there from Casey Ensel-Smith. Closing things down there on the top 2. A little bit of water or something on Campos's windscreen there by the looks of things. I'm not quite sure if that might be a radiator that might have blown there on the BMW of Andrew Schofield. We'll keep... Might just be ice on the intercooler as well, just to keep the intercooler cold. But certainly a lot of liquid on that front windscreen. He's taken the lead, so it hasn't affected him, that's for sure. Whatever the issue was, he's taken the lead and now leads comfortably over his stablemate. Hopefully Andrew Schofield's going to play the team game here and try and hold up the Golfs and Corollas behind him. It was Jason Coetzee who ran wide. I beg your pardon, I thought it was the other way around. Michael van Rooyen was the more aggressive driver into turn 1, forcing his teammate onto the grass. And Coetzee now trying to come back through the pack as Michael van Rooyen goes on the attack to look through and find a way to third place on Casey Ensel-Smith. Defending on Julian van der Walt and on Robert Volk as they went into 12 and 13. Wow. Exceptionally close there between Michael van Rooyen and Van der Walt. Van der Walt has got his, of course, stablemate on his tail there in Robert Volk. The 3 GTI 8s in full flight now. And there's the lone Corolla against 3 GTIs and 2 BMWs. Not quite sure how far back the second Corolla is. I'll try and keep an eye for that in the background of some of the shots that we've got to see if Jason Coetzee was able to get back onto the circuit. But as they come out of turn 5, you can see just how close it is here. All 6 cars. There's Coetzee. He's not too far behind. Rory Atkinson in the background, as you can see, leading the Super Cup class. Just managed to pick up on that Volkswagen Motorsport colours of Atkinson at the front end of Super Cup. But the front end of touring cars is starting to heat up because it's now Keegan Campos pulling away from Schofield, and Schofield is doing exactly what he needs to do. Try and hold the rest of the field up to give his teammate a chance to get away. The two BMW stablemates are working well at the moment. Can they keep that going for a couple more laps and give Keegan a bit of breathing room? No, they can't. Ensel Smith is through. Casey has found a way through and got ahead of Michael van Rooyen. Michael van Rooyen now goes straight into the clutches of Julian van der Walt. He's just managed to fend off one GTI attack. He's now got two more headed his way. And Schofield actually dropped right behind his former teammate there. Still in the InvestChem team, of course, the two of them. But now with Robert Volk behind the wheel of a GTI 8 as opposed to the BMW he was in the past. Ensel Smith into turn number 11. Squeezes Michael van Rooyen out. So we got BMWs 1 and 5 at the moment. And it's Golf GTI 8s 2 and 3. Michael van Rooyen in the Corolla in 4th place. His teammate Jason Kutsia starting to close down on the back end of Schofield and of Volk. Big push here. Looking for a change up possibly here. Oh, we're going to see Michael van Rooyen come back at Van der Walt. He's trying to fend off the attack from Robert Volk. Schofield using the entire track limit there. Only just staying on the black stuff as he came out of turn 4. So they're fighting hard. Let's go up to the front end of SupaCup. It's Jason Newsmore for second. He's got Brad Liebenberg and Tyler Robinson on his tail. It's Rory Atkinson who's out front there. You can see him just in the foreground. And this battle for second now poised on a knife edge. Loosemore, Brad Liebenberg looking for a way through here. As I said, Brad not involved for championship points this weekend, just for some seat time to get used to that front wheel drive polo again. He won the championship of course in this class, so he knows how to drive them. Just hasn't been behind the wheel of one for a while, so needs a bit of a drive to get the rust off so that he's ready to go for next weekend. And now looking to put huge amounts of pressure and possibly even spoil the day here for Jason Newsmore. Tyler Robinson in the mix there as well, doing everything right there in that AF Fans car. But here's your leader, smooth as silk at the front end and doing a great job to try and stay at the front of the SupaCup class. He would love that number 2 to be a number 1 by the end of this season, and it'll also be once again a great opportunity to show how well the stepping stones in Volkswagen Motorsport work. There comes Volk into turn 1 as we go back to the touring cars, trying to find a way through there on Michael van Rooyen. Van Rooyen's squirt on the straight just has a little bit of extra drive out of the corners compared to that Golf GTI 8 of Robert Volk's. We get a better example of it as they come out of turn 5 onto the short straight. We can probably even see here as Jason Kutsia tries to get through and ahead of Andrew Schofield. On board with Campos onto the short straight, looks in the rearview mirrors, just watching, making sure that no one comes up close and personal and attempts a chance to get past him. Slightly new livery on that car as well. Good to see the Campos name back in touring car, and it'll be a welcome return if he comes back with a win. They were punting it on the touring car page and on the Extreme Festival page, saying Keegan Campos is known for missing the first couple of rounds of racing, but usually comes back strong. If he comes back strong enough for the win, that'll be pretty decent. Berthold now looks like he's made his way through and got ahead and found a way past there on Tyler Robinson. Yeah, Tyler Robinson dropping back into the clutches now of Nicky Vastanis. Brad Liebenberg still applying pressure onto Loosemore. Loosemore soaking that pressure up for now. Oof, good drive and great corner speed there from Brad Liebenberg. Goes right underneath that rear wing of Jason Loosemore. It did compromise his drive slightly along that little kink straight, but now let's see if he's able to use that push to pass. Watch for the hazards to go on. There we go. Hazards on. Not on Brad's car though. The hazards came from the car behind him. As Judd Berthold tries to close that gap down. Through the chicane they go. Another lap completed. Halfway stage is reached. 4 done and 4 to go. And it's big pressure now from Liebenberg onto the back end of Loosemore. Loosemore soaking it up. He's been in this position in the past. Fighting with his teammate last year. And with Tate Bishop. Loosemore knows how to soak that pressure up, how to use it to his advantage and keep him on the straight and narrow. Or on the wide and twisties as we are here at Red Star. Probably the better way of putting it. Rory Atkinson using his Volkswagen Challenge and other category experience around this circuit to very good use today. Getting away at the front end and controlling things admirably to stay ahead of the 5 cars looking to try and spoil his day. They're going almost 2 by 2 behind him at the moment. Although the gap has opened up slightly now between Loosemore and Liebenberg. Berthold trying to close down on the back end of Liebenberg. This is camera on camera here. One front facing, one rear facing, watching the driver. Same car as Campos crosses the line with 3 laps to go. Oh, the 2 GTI 8s are getting up close and personal as well. Looks like Casey Ensor-Smith is going to have to fend off his teammate on a similar vein to what he did in Cape Town. With 3 to go. Casey in front of us. Only team orders there would be not to take each other out. Other than that, it's every man for himself. So Ensor-Smith still maintains a small margin over his teammate Julian van der Walt as we watch Campos down into turn 6. Nice turn in there. Probably second gear in those cars coming out of the hairpin. Short squirt to third, and they'll keep it through third all the way through into the dog bone. Down the hill, off camber right, off camber left, and it's a very off camber left that takes you onto the exit of the dog bone onto the short little straightaway. Little kink in it. Both of them through there smoothly though. Can't quite close the gap down on that leader. Keegan Campos is definitely going to have a welcome return if he can secure this second race victory. Loosemore still got Liebenberg behind him. Can't find a way through though to catch that man who's just shot through on the foreground of the shot. And Rory Atkinson hangs on for dear life. About a lap and a half to go. Atkinson, Loosemore, Liebenberg. Berthold and Robinson behind that. Tyler would love to come back at Judd if she can. Maybe find a way through there. Spoil his day. Get back up into that top 4. And slightly wide, put a wheel on the dirt. Wouldn't worry her too much. Push to pass being used behind her. Chipping the inside curb there was Judd Berthold. Trying to maintain the gap there between himself and Tyler. As they got 2 to go. 1.5 for these guys as they come down into turn 6. Would have been very interesting to see what would have happened had both that man, Robert Volk, and Keegan Campos not had the problems they had in race number 1, where they both ended up on the grass in turn 1. It's incredible to think. He seems to be rolling out of it ever so slightly there. You can see not pushing it to the limit. You can hear the revs coming off ever so slightly though. And he's still got a lap to go, so I'm not quite sure if Campos might have a bit of a fuel issue there. I'm hoping not. There he goes down in turn 1. Doesn't look like he's got any problems. Not the way he's driving right now. Now down into the closing stages. Into 4. Atkinson with a massive lead over Loosemore. Loosemore also with an equidistant, decent enough lead to keep Brad Liebenberg at bay for now, that's for sure. Can he keep it all together now? Even those little push-to-pass mechanisms that give them the little extra squirt aren't going to be enough, I don't think, at this stage. Campos back into the dog bone section. He's got just enough room there to hang on to keep the 2 GTI 8s behind him. But it definitely looks like it might be a bit of an ailing car he is nursing home. Okay, sounds good. Let's have a look at it. I wouldn't stay on long enough. I just wanted to see on the straight if he was rolling off. But I don't think he is. If there's any man who would be concerned about a possible fuel issue, it would have been him. If you remember in East London last year, he had to climb out the car and push it across the line. But he hasn't had to do that today because he's come back with a second race victory on return into South African Touring Cars. Keegan Campos with the win. Casey Ensor-Smith into second place with Julian van der Butt in third. And Robert Volk making it GTIs 2, 3 and 4 on track ahead of Jason Kutsia. Andrew Schofield dropped back, but so did Michael van Rooyen, unfortunately. He had a big issue and he's dropped back almost a lap. Some kind of an issue there for Michael van Rooyen in the closing stages. Atkinson now onto the back straight for the last time as well for SupaCup. Rory also with a very comfortable margin over Jason Loosemore and Brad Liebenberg. That's the gap he's got. Just saw it as he came under brakes for 12 and 13, I beg your pardon, as he comes out of the final 2 corners. Through that chicane, checkered flag on standby. Atkinson for the win. Behind him, Loosemore, Liebenberg and Berthold. Tyler Robinson making up the top 5. And wrapping up a pretty spectacular day's racing here at Red Star Raceway. We do love coming out to Dalmas and to Mpumalanga and to the Red Star. And there you can see it just on the left-hand side of the top end. That's the reason for it being known as Red Star, as that sun drops out the sky in about an hour's time. That's when you'll get to see why the circuit is named Red Star. Little wave there from Rory. He knows he's on camera. Thanks for that, boy. So Rory Atkinson taking the win over Loosemore, Liebenberg, Berthold and Tyler Robinson. And a great effort there from Nicky Vastanis as well. Paulo Leroux, Nico Zafiris and Rick Leroux. Jared Rousseau and Davide Franco are your SupaCup contenders. Top of the list though was Keegan Campos on return. He makes a welcome return with a victory, winning things out over Casey Ensor-Smith, Julian van der Vat and Robert Volk. And Jason Kutsia wins out over Andrew Schofield and Michael van Rooyen for the South African Touring Cars. You can see Keegan Campos is a pretty happy man inside that cockpit. And I'm sure he's going to be even happier when he gets to see his team and thank them for the job that they've done.